a Super Talk Mississippi media production. Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, Super Talk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning to you. How you doing? Another brisk morning. Not quite as bad, though. High today of 60, expected 35 right now. Wind chill of 31. Wind chill's a little bit higher than at this point yesterday, despite being 3 degrees cooler on the thermometer. But now we enter into our rainy era. 100% chance of rain coming tomorrow. We'll slowly build up to that, with a 90% chance of rain tonight. Yeah, that counts as a slow build these days. 90% tomorrow night, 70% on Friday, 60% on Friday night. You got a rain chance all the way through Saturday night. Sunday, sunny skies. But the temperatures are, well, going to drop right back down into the 30s starting on Sunday evening and stay there for a while, as befits a December. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday morning. I know you are. I can tell you're having a great day. Great day happen you. What? I'm just making up my own grammar at this point. Why not, right? Because, you know, you can do the same thing if you're an elected official and just make up good business practices. Had a lot of stuff last night at the work session, including one incredibly long conversation. We'll get through as much of it as we can here. A lot of things talked about. We're going to get to some of it tomorrow after North Pike Thursday. But this one I do want to go through because we talked about this yesterday when we were looking at the agenda, that one of the things that the board attorney, Jennifer Collins, wanted to talk about was the Safe Solicitation Act, HB 1197. That's the one where you have to get a permit to solicit on the streets. There's one thing that wasn't really addressed in this whole conversation, whichever way you go, and it's up in the air as to whether or not this is even going to have any impact at all with the city of Macomb. They get into that, they talk about it, and the board attorney, Ms. Collins, explains exactly how it works to the board. I would like to point out, if I go in the backyard and find a few sticks and a couple of nice looking rocks and just a nice collection of stuff and sit it down and explain things to it, that doesn't mean the collection's going to understand what I'm trying to get across. Not saying that's the case here, but we have a knack, it seems to me, we talked about this yesterday, of discussing something down to the minutest detail to the point to where we miss the point. Let's get right into the audio. Normally we don't do it until the second segment, but this is a long conversation on this topic, and I want to get to it starting right now.
Safe Solicitation Act. I prepared a brief memorandum for you if you decide you want to read it. Let me give you the skinny of it.
You will find it on your desk in front of you.
Skinny is, as far as the action for this board, the Mississippi legislature passed House Bill 1197 in July, basically giving Capital City Police some authority in the city of Jackson. But because panhandling and solicitation at corners has become a issue across the state, they passed a bill that basically lays out the authority for cities to put in place a permit where people have to get a permit per day. Cities can opt out of this particular law if they choose to, like the city of Columbus chose to opt out of the Safe Solicitation Act because they have it's a farming community and they have farming vendors that sell things, and having to get a permit every day for you to go out and sell something, it was going to create a tax, a burden on their folk. So the action before the board today is whether or not you want to opt out. I did lean forward because there is no affirmative action you have to take if you want to be subject to the Safe Solicitation Act. There is an affirmative action you have to take if you want to opt out. So if you choose to opt out, I went ahead and created a resolution for you as well. I did not create a resolution if you want to stay in because you don't need to do that. You don't need to take an action.
Just as we were talking yesterday, well explained by the board attorney, Ms. Collins. I do find it interesting. She knows which way the wind blows in the city of Macomb. So she went ahead and crafted a resolution, got the legal wording all right in advance for a motion to skip out on a law put in place to get panhandling under control. Now, of course, you don't have to do anything to be a part of it. That's the way it was set up, as she said. But she went ahead and crafted that one. I wonder if anybody will express any interest around the table of holding a vote on that next week and just dumping out of the whole thing. Let's find out together. It's a fun little Wednesday morning journey.
Select them, Card.
But let me say this before you finish.
You're back.
The city of Macomb actually already has at least 2 ordinances that deal with, your ordinance refers to peddling and to disturbance in the street, disturbing sidewalks. So the city of Macomb already has 2 ordinances. In fact, the ordinance for Muni Code for the city of Macomb actually gives you all a higher penalty, a higher fine than the safe solicitation. Safe solicitation says you can fine somebody up to $25, or the permit is up to $25. Macomb's is higher than that. So,
okay. And what she's saying there, and this is true, we have laws on the books, we have ordinances in the city of Macomb, and have for a very, very long time. You can tell how long back it goes because of the wording. And you can also tell that it ultimately doesn't matter. And that's the point I want to get to. They'll talk more about this in just a moment. A little bit. They'll nibble around the edges. The board attorney will make a very valid point here in just a few. But the problem is, if you don't enforce the law, it's a moot point that it exists. Due to staffing, due to budget, due to the fact that half the time law enforcement is having to choose between dealing with another shooting, dealing with a drug dealer, or dealing with somebody asking for $5 to get a hamburger on the side of the road, gee, I wonder what the priority list is going to be for that list of duties, and I got to take care of all of this right now. I got to pick one. They're not going to pick that one. It's just logic. It just makes perfect sense. So, unless you bring in a specific individual, whoever, well qualified, and that is their job to go around and ticket the panhandlers. Kind of like, we used to have and still do in some places, traffic cops, parking cops. That was their job. They walked their beat, and anybody who was violating the traffic laws, the parking laws, got a ticket. And that was it. They didn't respond to drug calls or to shots fired calls. That was their job. Unless you have somebody like that dedicated to this problem, this is always going to be the lowest priority on the list. I don't care how many laws you have in place. So we're kind of spending all of this time discussing the wrong end of the problem, if you ask me. What they call doing things the Macomb way. But it's not just Macomb, it's the state, it's the country. Planet Earth, a little iffy. We will get back to that conversation when we return on this Wednesday morning on Super Talk, Mississippi Pike County 93.5 on a slightly warmer, but not enough to call it warmer, Wednesday morning. Keep it here.
Ladies, your health is your priority, and the Women's Health Center in Macomb is here to support you. We're thrilled to announce the return of Dr. Ann Vu. Dr. Vu joins our dedicated team, including Dr. Kevin Richardson, nurse practitioner Shayla Stanberry, and midwife Tara Givens. From routine checkups to specialized care, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Schedule your appointment today. Visit us at 1318 Harrison Avenue or call 601-684-2300. The Women's Health Center, where your well-being comes first.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have a break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon or Apple, or just right there on the page.
For that bumper music this morning. Number one, it's one of the unofficial theme songs of municipal government in the city of Macomb. Number two, today would have been Ozzy's birthday. Died, of course, back in July. Born on December 3rd, 1948. The man was a fortune teller. And this song proves it. Ah, yes, playing us right back into coverage of last night's work session, and we're talking about, well, not really vagrants. Vagrants are just sitting on the sidewalk. People asking for money on the sidewalk. That's the discussion with the Safe Solicitation Act that was passed in the last session of the legislature in the state of Mississippi and went into effect July 1st. Does Macomb want to be a part of that? I would counter with, does it matter? Let's get back to the conversation.
Yes.
Panhandling is something that I get routine calls about, especially in our downtown district, as something that turns away the public. I've gotten calls about it at Walmart, at the mall. I would ask this board, in our efforts to create a more welcoming downtown.
Sorry.
That we would take the teeth that the state has given us and something that's backed by the state in addressing this issue. I know it's a very sensitive subject. I know there's a reason why people panhandle. But it is better for most that it does not happen in our city than it does if it happens in our city.
City attorney.
And I was not laughing at Suleiman Cotting. I agree with the sentiment 100%. We don't want the panhandlers being a tripping hazard for the people walking around drinking. That's what I was laughing at. The complete dichotomy of reality versus what we would like it to be. We can't seem to bridge that gap because we keep trying to jump off the cliff into the river below. And there are some folks sitting around that table after they jump off the cliff and they're plummeting towards the rapids. Their only comment is, man, that breeze is nice, isn't it? That's what it feels like. So, yes, I agree with the sentiment completely that we needed to make downtown more welcoming. I'm not sure we've been accomplishing that. We've done some good things. I talk about it all the time. The crew that put together the refurbishment of the Palace Theater, what an incredible job they did. We've got some great restaurants downtown. And then we decide we're going to try to turn it into the French Quarter. A very low-rent version of the French Quarter. Get your drink. It's not an open container. You can just drink from it while, you're walking around. It's a totally different thing. This is what I'm talking about with semantics and getting so caught up in the process that we never get the result that we're looking for. The discussions, well, they're not helping. And as proof, I wave my hand in the air, wave it back and forth and say, because of this. Look at the results. Are we where we want to be? Are we closer? Some people would argue we are. Some people, I would like to also point out, are wrong. So Suleiman Cotting, good heart, good thought, good intentions, good everything. But you can be as nice, as friendly as you want. But ultimately, the situation as it stands, unless there is a major enforcement going on, it's not going to matter. Just that's the reality of the situation.
City attorney?
I will point out that while the law is backed by the state, it's an unfunded mandate. So the state may be backing you by creating a law for you to follow when you already have an ordinance, but they're not giving you any money to follow that particular law. There is also the issue of putting in place, and this would fall to you, Mr. City Administrator, establishing a permit application and issuance procedures in partnership with the chief of police, because ultimately the chief and the police department are the ones who end up enforcing it.
Exactly. And now we're back to what I was talking about. In my mind, sitting over here in the cheap seats, freely admit that, in my mind, unless you have a dedicated enforcement officer, the officers of the Macomb Police Department that are out there on the streets every day, this is by default a low priority. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. We don't have the budget to hire wizards to come in and read Latin from a dusty book and magically make everything better. It takes a lot of hard work, which takes a lot of time, which takes people. You want to enforce the panhandling thing? Get a panhandling enforcement officer who goes and deals with this, which takes money. And the state said, go do this, but provided no money for it. Macomb, by the way, one of the things that we'll try to get to tomorrow is the fact that came up last night that City of Macomb has a bill for some management software that they haven't paid since June, and they just noticed it, supposedly. We don't have the budget or the business acumen to bring somebody else on just to deal with this. So without that, enforcement is going to be lacking, just as a matter of common sense. Logic dictates we don't have a big enough police force to deal with all the major problems we have now in a more timely manner. I just don't think without the money that this discussion is going to lead much of anywhere, honestly.
I will point out, as I put in the memo, not that anybody's afraid of the ACLU. I used to be the executive director of the ACLU. You should have been afraid then.
Well done. Well done. Agree with her or not, I don't matter. I love that kind of attitude. That was a great comment from Jennifer Collins, the board attorney. Not saying you should be afraid of the ACLU. I was executive director. You should have been afraid then. Now, Now, I just had to comment. Love that comment. That was well done.
They have brought litigation, and I think they'll bring more litigation pursuant to this, in my opinion.
Selectman Thompson.
So how would this affect people like food trucks?
If they're obstructing the sidewalks, then they're going to have a daily permit. And you can charge them up to $25 per day to get a permit.
But that's sidewalks, not parking lots or...
Obstructing traffic.
What he's referring to is what happened. Would this impact those who would be out in Walmart parking lot selling?
Walmart parking lot is Walmart's property.
Okay.
By the way, I think we got a great object lesson over the weekend. Parking at Walmart, not always the best choice. You're doing everything right, and some guy, boom, 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 boom. So the food truck, yeah, you're gonna spill your sauces if you're unlucky. Because for all the people who got their vehicle run into, they did absolutely nothing wrong. The driver really, we'll go into that another time. What's the Jen Psaki term that she used as the White House press secretary under Biden for 4 years? We'll circle back to that. Hadn't heard that in a minute, have you? So she pointed out, Ms. Collins, that it is an unfunded mandate. And now we're discussing food trucks. That law probably needs some attention if it applies. You heard earlier Columbus opted out of this, the city of Columbus, not the Explorer, opted out of this law because they didn't want to charge their farmer vendors, their farmers market basically, a permit per day to be out there selling stuff. That to me is a different category of thing. That's not panhandling. Like in the case of Columbus, if you're sitting at home on your farm or at your house with property and you're growing, homegrown vegetables, making some apple pies, canning some jellies, whatever, and you decide to go out and sell it, that's not panhandling. That's commerce. Now, admittedly, the state law does not make a clear enough distinction between those two, which is leading to problems, as we usually have. But that should be an entirely different category. And to me as well, food trucks should be an entirely different category because, again, you've invested in the truck, you've invested in the supplies, you're investing your time and your hard work to sell something to people who want it in a location that's convenient for them after you've worked out an agreement where you can go and park it. Because you can't just go park it in the turn lane on Delaware and set up shop. You got to have some permission already. Layering on top of that a daily permit or a possible fine, we're addressing the wrong problems there.
I have a question about it.
Okay, Select Woman Baylor.
What if there's someone homeless that's panhandling?
That's what it's for.
That's exactly what it's for. So who's going to pay their part and pay for them to get out of jail? How do we do that? You don't.
Yeah.
How is this even a conversation? This is why I wanted to go through this. Number one, it's a nuanced argument, but number two, some other things come out in the middle of it. Well, if we and this is the Democratic mindset in a nutshell. Well, if we arrest somebody who's violating the law, who's going to pay for them to get out of jail? Are we going to do that? We got to take care of them. Because they're toddlers. Everybody's a toddler. No, if you violate the law, well, you pay the penalties. That's the way it works. And we keep having people who are under the misunderstanding that we need to be rushing in to take care of everybody all the time. If you're that concerned, go help them get a job. Help them get on their feet and get set up. But no, that's never a part of the discussion, is it? Who's going to pay for them to get out of jail? Is it going to be us? No. You heard the answer from the board attorney immediately and the mayor. No, it's not going to be us. To be fair, City of Macomb, we can't pay our bills as it is. We don't need to take on dependents on top of that.
I don't think the maximum fine includes jail time.
Also, you have to remember that the jail space is limited because this, and correct me, Chief, this would be a misdemeanor.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be a violent misdemeanor, so we don't have bed space for them.
We do now. We got a memo today. There are bed space for misdemeanor. We are taking misdemeanors to jail.
Okay. Thank you for updating me because I knew at one time we did not.
No, that just came out today.
Okay.
But that's $300 you'll never. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's $300 you're never gonna see. To answer your question, you're not gonna see $300 from a person that's experienced the homelessness.
No.
That's exactly right. Again, wrong approach to the problem. just like, oh, well, in that case, just let it go. It's fine. Let them do whatever, wherever, whenever, however. That's also an incorrect approach to the problem. This is not as complicated as we are always determined to make everything be. Everything is just crushingly complicated and so hard to navigate. But what about if the bad guy has a bad day because of it? And I'm sorry, homeless, that can happen to just about anybody. But at the same time, if there is a law and you break the law, you got to do something about it. You don't get daddy municipal government to come in and just take care of it for you and pat you on the head and then turn you back out on the street. This conversation is ludicrous. The entire thing here. And then, the board attorney very rightly pointing out, well, if they're out there panhandling, you're not going to get $300 out of them as a fine. Yes, $300 we'll never see. She's exactly right. But I still say we won't see it for a different reason. And that reason is we don't have the manpower to do blanket enforcement of this, just spot checks every so often, which means we default back to people not even reporting it or complaining about it because they know nothing's going to happen, because nothing can happen, because we don't have the resources to make something happen about it. So the fine is almost irrelevant. To clean up crime takes action. In that action, some criminals are going to get their feelings hurt, whatever category it is. If you are breaking the law, you're a criminal. That's the definition of a criminal. But we are now living in a time, in a society, where we have to pick our battles and choose which crimes we're going after and which ones are a lower priority, never will say that we're ignoring any. No. But there are only so many hours in the day. And only so many people available to deal with it. So until we address that, again, not sure what we're doing here. We're arguing semantics on a topic we have no, at the moment, real ability to even fix.
Chief.
Yes, and I think I spoke with the attorney briefly on this earlier this year, I think. You remember? One thing I think it would help with, especially area like 5 Point, where people be taking up money, like those sports team football, you see them out there taking up money, obstructing traffic. But there are a lot of people there taking up money in the name of false entities.
Really?
So this.
I love that. Really? What planet do you live on that you're not aware of this? There are scams everywhere. We just talked yesterday about the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office putting out the notice that it's going around again. They're calling to tell you that you have a warrant for your arrest for missing jury duty. And I need some Target gift cards and we can make that go away. Scams are everywhere right now. If you are surprised by that, if you are shocked at that information that the police chief just gave, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure you need to be sitting around that table making decisions if you're not aware that there are scammers everywhere right now. Online, on your phone, on the street corner, everywhere. So that's the exact opposite of breaking news.
This would help if they have to come get a permit. We would know who's actually out there taking up this money. We have people just coming through saying they raising money for a church that don't even exist. So it would help on things like that.
But I will say you already have a peddling ordinance. You do.
Peddling.
Peddling.
Yeah, but
Peddling,
that's-
another word for panhandling.
That's selling though. Peddling is selling something, not asking for anything. So
I haven't really.
obstructing traffic is different. We can do that. That's an order for obstructing traffic.
Yeah, you have two. Right.
But peddling, I think that's the sale. They're trying to sell stuff. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with the chief there. Peddling and panhandling are two completely different things. Again, as the chief was talking just then, doing the permits would allow them to know who's out there. Well, that's fine as far as it goes. The problem is, you know who doesn't follow the law? Lawbreakers. The ones out there causing the biggest disturbance usually don't care if they have to have a permit. Doesn't matter to them. We have laws against everything from drug use to robbery to burglary to murder. That doesn't stop people. They don't care. Until it becomes clear that you're not going to get away with it, it doesn't matter, is my point. And what it would take, my opinion, again, a dedicated officer to go around and deal with this. That's all they did was deal with panhandlers. And in very short order, the panhandlers would go away. Either that or they would be having to buy a permit per day. And at that point, it would drop off precipitously. But the key, as always, enforcement. The less someone believes they're going to get away with something, the less likely they are to try it. That's a base. Anyone who's raised a toddler knows how that works. And we keep talking around that subject because, well, it's uncomfortable and we might hurt somebody's feelings. No, seriously, that's the reason. That's what it boils down to.
So, Chief, if I'm listening and are hearing you at the same time, you would recommend that we stay in and not opt out?
I would, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I'm hearing correct. Okay. Any other?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So if we put homeless in jail, that's going to increase our
numbers in
our jail fees
yes,
once again.
yes. Select.
I think we're taking a pretty big jump here. You know, so the only thing that outlines jail on here is the forgery of a permit. Someone tries to fake a permit and turns it into the police department. I don't see that an issue. So, police chief, if it's the will faking a permit, I've never.
AI would do it.
I don't think.
How much access do you think those homeless people you were just talking about have to AI and a printer? How does that work in your brain? This is what I'm talking about. We take things and we talk them into the ground, half the time not making sense, half the time disagreeing with what we ourselves just said 5 minutes ago, and not following the logic chain anywhere down the path. You don't think that forging a permit is going to be an issue? You don't think? AI can do it right now. Yes, because homeless people, which you were just expressing concern for, they have free, ready access to AI and a high quality printer in order to print out a forgery of it. Unless you think some people are going to take a crumpled piece of paper and a big pen they found somewhere on the side of the road and scrawl out, "This permit certifies that I can do whatever I want," and that's it. Is that your train of logic to protest and saying you don't think it's going to be a problem? AI can do that. AI can do your job. possibly better. Let's go back to it.
What this targets has the capability of making an AI permit and printing it out and maintaining it. So let's just go through an exercise, Chief. If I'm panhandling and you catch me at the 5-point panhandling, what are you going to tell me?
Show me your permit.
And I say I don't have a permit, then what are you going to say?
You get fined for, I guess, the $25.
You probably say get lost or get fined.
Right.
No, that's not what it says.
The $25 is the
It's
permit
for the
fee.
permit. The penalty is either 6 months or a $500 fine or both. That's the penalty as I read it. It's a misdemeanor penalty for soliciting without a permit, 6 months confinement, $500 fine.
It's just like speeding, though, okay? Many times you're just going to be told, stop doing it and move on. You know,
You must know somebody.
must be. But
Well, actually, the laws are for the honest people anyway, so criminals gonna break the law regardless. So it's for the people that's out.
I'd say listen to your police chief. Maybe that would help the court out.
We have had that conversation many times. We have had that conversation many times where something came up for discussion that directly influenced the police department, and it was always said, well, we need to get the chief's opinion. We need to find out what our police chief needs. You know, the person that we appointed, the person that we hired to do the job because we believe they were best qualified to do the job. Well, why don't we let them do the job and make this decision? Well, police chief just said he wanted it in place. We can argue the semantics of whether or not it's going to have as big of a positive effect as you can imagine, but that's what the police chief said he wanted. So in times past, in previous conversations about these kind of issues, that should put it to rest, right? That's what the police chief wants to go into effect for his department to enforce. So conversation settled.
Okay.
If you
City attorney.
If you stay in city administrator, you have to have your processes in place by January 1st.
You taking notes. You get heated.
And if you don't have your processes in by January 1st, city attorney.
Put this on the agenda to opt out.
It's not
What?
okay.
So what are we going to do with this? Tell me. Tell them. Yes.
So, long as what if we decide 6 months from now, or maybe even the next administration decide to opt out? Is that still possible?
Not according to the statute. Section 6 is one little line that says opt in within 6 months of enactment. It was enacted July 1st.
But there's no opt out if you decide down the road.
Mayor, when you
It doesn't say so in statute. Now that doesn't mean that the legislature may not come back and clean it up.
But right now, January 1st is deadline.
Notice, by the way, this is the way it always works. Notice the conversation is whether or not we could opt out at a later date once it goes into effect. If we or a following board wanted to, would we be able to opt out? There's zero conversation about, well, if we go ahead and opt out now, will there be an opportunity for the following board to opt in? It's the subtle subconscious currents in conversations that let you know what's actually going on and what's being thought about. Want to make sure we can get out of this no matter what. We got to get out of this. There's going to be a way to get out of this, or else I don't want anything to do with it. Okay, if you get out of it, anybody have a way to get in it later? We going to ask that question? Or does it matter? Because in some minds, the whole goal is to get out of it, and that's basically it.
Selectman Collier didn't select Woman Baker.
So we had the same thing with marijuana right when we started. This is a common thing with state legislator, is that if they're going to make a municipal law, kind of sort of, then they give the municipality the option to opt out within 6 months of it passing. And I think we opted we did not opt out of marijuana. So it's very similar to that.
Okay.
So if we
Select
stop
one,
them
baby.
going at the 5 Point and other places, and they leave there and they go in front of the Dollar General and start asking and doing stuff, or in front of the businesses, how we stop that?
If they're panhandling,
Same thing, same process, same people.
same thing.
Okay.
We don't have enough beds to lock up all the misdemeanors out there.
Get some bunk beds.
Okay. Okay. Sound like we digressing. Okay.
It sounds like now.
Should I put it on the agenda? We voted up or down?
Yeah.
Okay. On the agenda.
It'll be on the agenda next week for the meeting to vote it up or down to opt out of the Safe Solicitation Act. I hate to sound fatalistic. I hate to come across as overly cynical, despite the fact that I'm overly cynical, especially when it comes to any activities going on from the municipal government in the city of Macomb. 28 days till the deadline to have the audits in a good enough shape to prevent the state auditor's office from doing everything from withholding sales tax revenue to filing charges. But I'm sure we'll be fine. But I hate to sound cynical, but opt out, stay in. It doesn't matter. There's not a lot of follow-through around that board table. And you know what? We were going to save it for tomorrow. I'm going to go to it next. Final segment in just a moment, and very quickly we'll find out just how well business is being managed and continues to be managed at City Hall right after this.
Take me down to the paradise city with the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home?
Dr. Patrick Daigle is now seeing patients at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. While his location has changed from the Women's Health Center, Dr. Daigle's commitment to exceptional care remains stronger than ever. You'll find the same trusted care now at a new location within the Southwest Health Network. Dr. Daigle and Dr. James Nobles providing comprehensive women's health services at Mississippi Women's OBGYN. Same trusted care, new location, 205 Marion Avenue in Macomb, or call 601-250-4275.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Very quickly, let's get to it. I mentioned it earlier in the show. We got a great indication of how things are going business-wise in the city of Macomb last night when the mayor very briefly informed the board of this.
Next, you have Harris Computers. I was contacted by Harris Computers that we have not paid for the management part of their software since June. And they asked me to correct this error. As you know, I don't have that authority. The board has that authority, so I'm bringing it to the board.
I would just like to point out, no, the mayor does not have the authority to pay the bills. That's exactly right. He's 100% proper. The mayor does have the authority to oversee things and make sure the bills are getting paid. 6 months? We haven't paid this bill in 6 months. And now we want to make sure we do this properly. We have had, 5 special call meetings in the last 2 or 3 weeks. A 6-month overdue bill couldn't have been put on any of those agendas, any of the regular board meeting agendas since June. Especially until the new city administrator starts, which is now basically. We have had a period after former CA David Myers left where the mayor was serving in dual roles. He was overseeing this. So in all that time, didn't even notice? How many other bills are there that haven't been paid or aren't getting paid that just haven't been noticed? That's my question.
You'll see that from June through December, they have not been paid for the management part of the software. The court system and police department have been paid, but the management has not.
Question.
Just like to point out, this deals with the court system and the police department. We just spent all that time discussing an ordinance that would have to be enforced, but for 6 months we haven't paid an important bill related to the daily operations of those two systems. Priorities. We lack them.
Selectman Mullen.
Had they submitted the bill?
Yes, they did submit the bill.
Okay.
It's my understanding that the bill has been sent to our city clerk and one of her deputy city clerks. But for some reason, it's not being paid.
For some reason, I don't know. It's a weird day. Squirrels got in the computer server. I don't know. Got to store their nuts somewhere. Can't be mean to the squirrels, so just kind of let them do their thing, which means some things will be missed. No big deal. Just move along. Nothing to see here. And if you keep pushing me, I'll keep doing my best to throw the city clerk under the bus.
Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl.
Wonder why we have problems with city government in Macomb and the handling of business. I'll tell you why. It's because we're not handling business. We keep seeing this over and over. We just had a big argument about how much we were going to pay for the housing of prisoners. We decided to set our own price. And now this comes out. There's way too much smoke here for there to be no flames. Tomorrow's North Pike Thursday, 9:06. We'll get it fired up. My friend, I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.